Hello everybody, today we're taking a look at another bundled software Trojan, similar to the previous one that tried to pretend to be the Windows activation feature. This one is still fairly crude, however I find it to be a little bit more interesting, so let's just go ahead and take a look at the Malwarebytes blog where they write a little bit about it. Apparently this Trojan was bundled with some kind of software called WeatherWizard, or WeatherWizard was the Trojan. I'm not quite sure. But the point is, it's sort of similar to the previous one where it was bundled with one of those freeware installers and would eventually trigger some type of thing to call some tech support number. So let's take a look at what files we have. Now unfortunately the installer for WeatherWizard that I have doesn't work anymore. However, here are at least some of the files that it would have dropped. So of course the most interesting is this little batch file here. If we take a look at it, it tries to execute a lot of stuff using scheduled tasks. So it will try to run this winubd.exe hourly, and every 30 minutes try to run another one. However, it also tries to run, on the first day of December, 3 different EXEs. So they're kind of trying to play the long game here with this. It's kind of interesting. You think back to, older malware, it's going to keep time on its own. However, this very cheaply made, very quickly made malware just takes advantage of scheduled tasks, which works. So let's just go ahead and take a look at a few of the EXEs in here and see how they work. And of course I could, put all these into scheduled tasks and copy them all to Windows, but they should run just fine outside of that folder. So we'll go ahead and try to run winubd.exe. And I think it did something. Let's see. Winubd.exe. Nothing there. How about msconfig? Didn't add itself to startup. Alright, I suppose we'll go ahead and try... Okay, we don't actually have win.exe. So we'll go ahead and run mint.exe, which is supposed to run at the first day of December. So run it as administrator, and oh no. Yeah, that's really bad looking. Okay, so first of all, we have some sort of problem with .NET. And of course this Trojan can only run if you have at least .NET Framework 4.0 or higher. If you use 3.5, it won't work correctly. And of course, this really isn't a problem nowadays. However, if you have a vanilla Windows 7 install, it'll come with .NET 3.5. So anyway, we tried to do something here, and we had some type of error. I'm not sure why. It might be because I didn't run it as admin. Let's go ahead and just quit, and then run it again. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be pretending I'm being infected. Okay, sorry. Okay, anyway, oh, I'm infected. Okay, continue. Okay, so, well, as you can tell, Windows is, really broken now. Some type of driver IRQL not less or equal. The text looks all correct in terms of the English language. It's not broken English or anything. And, of course, they want us to call Microsoft, well, they want us to think this is Microsoft's tech support phone number down here. And, of course, this is a simple little Visual Studio or whatever program, which is fairly quick to make, and you can just press Alt F4 and close it, so that's nice. So I guess let's try to run the this hardware information.exe and see what happens. Because it also wants to run this too. Oh, that's doing something. You put a little tray icon down here, Windows Alert. Let's see if we can run this winubd and see if anything happens. Nope. Not much of anything. Okay. I guess we'll go ahead and do this little mytrayapp.exe. Which runs another one of these little Windows Alert things. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the final exe in here. Or, well, second to last. Let's check out WinBulletin. This is essentially the same thing as the previous exe that popped up a fake blue screen. And of course you can just close this with Alt F4 if it would work. Unfortunately, I think the program actually works a little better, so it's supposed to disable the ability to Alt F4. Of course, I don't have a Windows key, so I'm just going to go ahead and send Control Alt Delete, which works, and we can just kill Wimbledon. Just like that. Final exe in here is bs1.exe, which should do something. There we go. Okay, so slightly different, except this time they left out the phone number. I can't tell you why. So we're supposed to call 1-800 pound 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 pound. Makes sense. And also, if you right-click, you get like a web page kind of deal. Can we put this in Arabic? It doesn't really seem to do much of anything. Show Unicode, right to left. Oh my god, that is terrible. Okay, what can we do? Activate Arabic, inhibit Arabic, record separator. Okay, so there's not really much else we can do with this fake blue screen. It's pretty amusing. It looks absolutely ridiculous like this. And I believe it can just be closed with Alt F4. Yes, it can. Okay, so fairly simple to close this out. And just like the Windows Activation Trojan, this software is very simple, very crude. However, you know, if you think, okay, if 10,000 people were to download this, that's just, you know, that's just a random number I just made up. We got to think maybe 1% of them would call that number. Yeah, I think, you know, 99% of people would think that's fake. Maybe. I don't know. But what if 1% call that number? And if they're gullible enough to call that number, there's probably a significant amount of them that are actually going to pay these people money to fix their computers. So if you got to think that this campaign is probably pretty effective in terms of money making. And of course, this software is fairly easy to remove just with Malwarebytes. It will detect it as a PUP, so Malwarebytes, just go ahead and download it. Free version. Okay, so we'll save it. And just for the sake of authenticity, we'll just copy everything to the Windows folder now. There we go. Run mbam setup. We do not want the free trial. And so now it's going to update itself. Just give it a minute. Alright, so we'll go ahead and run threat scan, and this should be done fairly quickly. Okay, so our scan has completed. We have 14 detections, so we'll just go ahead and remove selected. Click yes to restart. And that's about it for this fake blue screen / WeatherWizard Trojan. If we look in our original folder, it has actually not scanned it for some reason. I don't understand that. Can we get a rescan on that? Because that'd be pretty disappointing if Malwarebytes doesn't detect that. Although it is on the desktop, so maybe ThreatScan doesn't pick it up. Let's see. Let's try going to users, desktop. See if we can get some detections. Okay, so I had to actually do a manual scan of that folder on the desktop since Malwarebytes didn't see it at first. So if we look in the folder again, we just have the batch file, which is harmless at this point. So that will be about it for this interesting yet crude Trojan. So thank you all very much for watching, and take care.